Come here. Come on. Where are you? Come on. Come here.
Running around like crazy, trimming their hair, and getting ready to go to the Calgary Flames hockey game, right?
After being knocked on the head twice, it took me a while to formulate my thoughts. Being knocked on the head twice, it took me a while to formulate my thoughts.
I don't have an answer for that, mate, but there is something wrong in the world to be honest.
Sometimes you can forgive and sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can forgive and you can't forget.
Some get over it very quickly, some take years, some never.
There are people that are alone, and they're alone because they're somehow disturbed or mentally handicapped. But no, but that is only one group. There is also another group of people that are alone because they want to be alone. That there is a group of people that can function, being alone and being with a group, and can interact socially. And that group shouldn't be confused with the other group, where other groups have great difficulty interacting with people, and also great difficulty in living alone. Now with some people who are alone, there is something wrong. Society says, one, you're not supposed to be alone, and two, you must be in this condition called happy.
I mean, they give you a whole big plate and little things in the center. That's all of your meal. And you eat it for the next hour.
I think society, especially in North America, really runs on a principle of togetherness and coupleness.
It's been my experience that many relationships are generally with strangers. I suppose because of the immediacy of our society, the fast food, the fast everything. People have fast relationships. I think a lot of times you get involved with someone before you even know them, and by the time you get to know them, it's too late because you're involved, and that leads to a greater loneliness than being alone.
On the same images and stereotypes as everybody else, especially the ones that my parents had. You know, which is the idea that you get married and you live happily ever after.
I love beans for supper. Yes, it always tastes better when somebody else cooks.
So, the first time I actually met you, it was at the play, and I'm sure you have a lot of compliments with it.
Well, I can't play that role, or I don't feel like playing that role.
He thought that I should be home at a certain hour of the day, that I should do things a certain way, that I should talk to people in a certain way, that I should be happy to entertain a lot of people. And so I kept trying to be accommodating because I thought, well, maybe there is something wrong with me.
I understand what you're saying. I think it's a question of balance. How much control do you want, and how much control are you willing to let the other person have? And those people who are willing to let the other person have a lot of control will get into marriages or into relationships where there's a long-term commitment. And I'm not one of those people. I probably don't want to let the other person have 50% control of my life. I want to have more control. And so I'm not going to allow myself to get into a relationship where I have to give up that control. I'm more control than I want to give up.
I feel a new freedom, that I don't feel pressured to live the way society would have me believe I should live. It's a liberation. It's there's a whole other way of living and seeing things that don't involve relationships and sex.
You have different friends for different sort of aspects of your life when you're single. You have movie friends and book friends and food friends, and some of them cross all boundaries and some of them don't.
What do you want to hear? Anything. You want to hear the same story again about my first crush? Sure, I can remember back to grade 1. And I was sitting at the back of the room, and beside me was this cute little brunette. And I remember during the coloring sessions, I wasn't a very good colorer. And this pretty little gal beside me, she could color so well. You know, everything was within the lines and looked really good. And that because, you know, she was a nice looking little girl, and I had a crush on her. And this crush persisted, at least for another year, until grade 2. But then I was caught throwing a snowball at her by the teacher in grade 2. The teacher just happened to be her mother.
That's kind of a short crush. That's a short crush, yeah. You want to hear about a longer crush? Oh yeah, well now we'll jump up 30 years.
No, I wouldn't say that. I am occupied with family and friends. I don't sit and contemplate my navel. I still live.
Well, I think it's a private matter, but I think most people probably nowadays, probably at some point in their life are involved.
Yeah. Well, I guess they're just projecting their own preoccupation about it onto you, but not everyone is preoccupied with sex.
I was restricted. Human relationships are very complicated things, but...
It was kind of a high-class party. The people there were quite wealthy. I'm not wealthy. I'm kind of a middle-income earner professional, I guess. Anyway, I had taken along a friend of mine who is a well-respected business person, and he was was my date. I was the person who was invited to the party, not him. However, because of his position, he knew most of the people at the party. So, ironically, people started introducing me as his wife, and they're already around saying, "Oh, this is Jack Smith, and this is Mrs. Smith. I'm sorry, I don't know your first name." So, I was just so offended by it. I said, "Excuse me, he's my date, and I'm not Mrs. Smith, and I'm not introducing him as Mr. Such and Such with my name. Why are you doing this?" And they're all going, "Oh, well, you know, we just assumed. So then you're his girlfriend." I said, "No, I'm not his girlfriend. I'm his friend." And they're saying, "Oh, well, we know what you mean. You're his